I'm Dr. Jocelyn and I'm here with your weekly health tip. And today I have a special treat. The video is going to be a little bit longer and the sound quality is a little degraded because it was recorded at the recent Food Independence Summit where I was invited to be a workshop speaker. The keynote speaker was Joel Salatin, the grandfather of farming, who everybody knows and loves for his work with organic, regenerative, permaculture-based agriculture with rotational grazing, no chemicals, pesticides, or herbicides. Joel was kind enough to spend a few minutes with me sharing some insights into homesteading and farming for you, our viewers. So I hope you enjoy the following interview. All right, so I'm excited to have Joel Salatin with me of PolyFace Farms, and I get to ask him a few questions and share the answers with everybody watching our weekly health tip videos. So if somebody's interested in homesteading and they've never homesteaded before, what is the top piece of advice you would give them?
Probably the top piece of advice is don't be so worried about location. Go where you want to go. I mean, if you're moving, I'm assuming you're moving, and so think about: do you have friends somewhere? Do you have acquaintances somewhere? Do you have family somewhere? Do you have connections somewhere? Any kind of relationship, because at the end of the day, I really believe that if the wheels fall off, it's going to be our relationships that become our new 401k plan.
Yes.
And so go where you just like to go, and don't get too bent out of shape about just location. That said, there are certainly some places that are better than others. I don't want to be right on the ocean where hurricanes come. I don't want to be in Tornado Alley. I don't want to be in the desert. You want to be somewhere where there's water. But those are all down the line. I think go where you feel like you can thrive relationally.
Yes, community, building that connection. And then somebody that's been homesteading, they've got, maybe chickens, maybe they've got a garden, maybe they've got everything. They've got chickens, cows, pigs, the whole 9 yards. What piece of advice would you tell them as a caution, a way of growing, that one piece of advice that it's like, make sure you know this?
Probably the two ways nature cleanses, sanitizes. Nature sanitizes two ways: either rest and sunshine, which is the pasture movement concept, or vibrant decomposition, which is a compost. And so with livestock, you either want to move and do the movement and rest on pasture, but are there times where you want to house animals? Absolutely. Inclement weather. Maybe you only have a postage stamp yard, and you don't want chickens. You don't want the kids dragging manure into the house. Okay. What you're after is a compost bedding pack. So if you're gonna house animals, get them on a deep carbonaceous diaper bedding pack, so that you can actually have them on kind of a composting situation to create sanitation. That means you have to build your structures so they can handle deep bedding. You got to think about carbon sources, those kinds of things. Hygiene, sanitation. It's number one. A lot of people, you think, well, I'm just going to homestead, don't have that much. I can fudge. Some of the dirtiest, filthiest livestock situations I've ever seen have actually been on homesteads. Where we think we can whatever, cheat.
Those little details matter.
They do, and they add up.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, you've got parasites, you've got pneumonia, you've got coccidiosis, you've got issues.
Well, my husband wouldn't let me get another cow, and it's all your fault, because Joel said infrastructure, 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 and we don't have an infrastructure for one more cow. It's that whole, sometimes we like to get the cart before the horse.
Oh, it's easy to make the phone call and buy something, but it's hard to get the infrastructure in place so that when that animal arrives, you're actually ready for it.
Well, the barn broke ground today, so we're headed there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. That's great.
So for somebody who's going, okay, this whole chemical-free, organic doesn't have to be certified, but doing things without the chemicals and the process way that the world has taken everything, that sounds like a lot of work. But you've talked about the ways that it's really important for us. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So the chemical approach is trying to shortcut natural process. Soil is built in nature by decomposing carbon. It's not built by 10-10-10 chemical fertilizer. It's built by decomposing carbon. And that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it will be. If I'm not a gambling man, but if I were betting on a horse to win a race, I'd want to bet on the horse that's won several races, not the horse that's never been in a race before. And so you got to realize that this whole chemical, genetically modified organism, mRNA, I mean, name your thing, all this stuff. Not only is it extremely anti-natural processes, but it's an experiment, a major experiment. And so I'm going to bet on the systems. And carbon decomposition is the system. I'm going to bet on the system that has maintained abundance for millennia, not some new cockamamie idea that says none of that matters. We can shortcut it all and it doesn't matter. And so, on the outset, I'm going to bet on the horse that's been winning the race for millennia, not the newest thing. Now, that doesn't mean I'm against technology. There are technologies, like electric fencing, like front-end loaders, chainsaws, chippers. There are technologies that allow us to come in and kind of massage, enhance, caress, if you will, this kind of carbon recycling template. That's great, but to suggest that life is fundamentally mechanical and not biological, that we can shortcut biology with chemistry, it's never worked and it's not going to work in the future.
I love the quote where you talk about the 9% for food and 18% for healthcare, and where we used to be in the 1960s and 70s.
Yeah. In the 1960s and 70s, the per capita expenditure on healthcare was 9%. And 18% on food. Today it's 9% food to 18% healthcare. That's not a good trajectory. And so we want to reverse that and get it back to being healthy. And I'd like to just point out one other thing. There are a lot of people today, thinking people, that are concerned about where our culture's headed. I mean, we see economic problems. We see avian influenza. Putin in Ukraine, COVID. I mean, there's these things, and if there's one thing you don't want to be when the wheels fall off, is sick. You don't want to be the one in the bed that you're hoping somebody will pick you up and carry you out of the burning building. You want to be able to run out on your own steam. And so I think that the kind of things that you're doing and the kind of things that this Food Independence Summit espouses are key to preparing us physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally for being well, for perpetuating wellness. And that's good whether things are bad or not, but it's especially good when things are bad.
Absolutely.
And so it's time to put attention on being well.
Yes. I tell people, if you're eating McDonald's every day, there's no way that you can take enough supplements to fix it. You've got to correct your diet, you've got to correct your lifestyle, and then use supplements to help undo the damage that we have inadvertently done to our bodies. So, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Joel. We love what you're doing. Appreciate you and PolyFace Farms, and especially all your books. We've got a new book. Let's give it a shameless promo that's coming out in September.
Yes. We're going to printing bids probably next week, so we should have it by September 1st. The title is Homestead Tsunami, Good for Country, Critters, and Kids.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and you were talking about kids and just the importance of incorporating them into the homestead here, which was much appreciated. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining me today, and thank you all for joining us on this health tip.
Thank you for joining us. Please stop in and see us at Whitaker's Natural Market as we help you continue your journey to better health naturally.